Do you know your email engagement rate? Hi, I'm Lauren McDonald with IBM Marketing Cloud. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite metrics that's kind of new on the scene the last few years, which is called engagement rate, or sometimes and frequently referred to as the read rate. What it is a metric, actually three metrics, kind of under the umbrella of engagement, which look at the time intervals that people are actually looking at and engaging with your emails. The top level is actually the read rate, which is where people engage and open and look at your email for at least 8 seconds or more. The second one in the middle is called the skim rate, which is basically where people would look at the email from 2 to 7 seconds. And the lowest one is called glanced and deleted, which is that under 2 seconds or just simply deleted and not looked at. And so what do these metrics mean? What is sort of the role and value of them? So when we look at where we are today, particularly with the impact of mobile readership, it tends to be for most brands in that sort of 50% plus or minus range. B2C tends to be often a bit higher than that, 55, 60% for a lot of B2C brands. And for B2B brands, it tends to be a bit lower, 35, 40, 45%. But in general, hovers in that 15%. So where we are today is that on average for most of you as email marketing brands, your recipients, about half of them are looking at your emails on mobile. And what that means is oftentimes they literally are mobile. They're walking down the street, they're in elevators, they're stopping at stoplights, whether it's against the law or not, it's a different point. But they are literally are sort of moving in mobile. They're standing in line at a Starbucks, for example. The second thing is that context, right? Because they're not staring at the big screen on their desk and they're moving and stuff. They're not necessarily in a position to pull out their credit card, make a purchase, or convert and things like that. The other thing is what sort of is coming along with this is there's actually a couple of studies out there that show that as humans, our attention span is actually declining, and a lot of that is driven by technology. And so a couple of the studies are suggesting that our attention span has actually declined about 4 seconds in the last 10 years, meaning when we would normally look at something for, let's say, 12 seconds, today we will only give that sort of same interaction about 8 seconds of our time. And so emails sort of fall into this magic area of that 8 seconds. And so what does this mean? What can I do about it? So first off, make sure you grab the IBM Marketing Cloud benchmark study and start to understand these rates. We're including them in the study, and what we're seeing is that on average, about 52% of brands using our Email Insights tool are seeing that 52% of their customers, their subscribers, are at that read level, that 8 seconds or more. And the other 48% is broken down, kind of half and half between that, is in that glanced and skim rate. And so if you look at it the other way, it means that 48% or nearly half of your recipients are probably only giving your email a few seconds or not at all. So the question is first off, make sure that you're actually leveraging a metric like this. You understand what's going on. How are you comparing to your peers in kind of the same or similar industries? And so the understanding where you're at in that kind of engagement read rate is sort of a good proxy for understanding how well the content, not just the design, but sort of the content, the images, the words, the emotions, etc., that you're using are actually truly engaging, keeping people wanting to read more and understand more. So that's sort of the first thing. The second thing is, because of all the factors I've talked about, it's really important to start thinking about beyond just sort of that design, that responsive design, fluid, mobile friendly, etc., and think about completely rethinking your approach within your email. So moving to more images and less copy, for example. Obviously, you want to optimize subject lines, pre-header text, etc. But ultimately, we as humans are able to process images much more quickly than we are text and words. In fact, the brain looks at each individual letter in a word much as an entire image. So it takes a long time for the brain to process words. Whereas if you can move to using many more images in your email, putting aside, loading time and deliverability factors, etc. But if you optimize them correctly and you get people to open that email and basically get pulled in by really great and exciting imagery, whether it's animated GIFs, whether imagery, ultimately videos, things like that, even emojis, right? Think about how you can leverage imagery to bring your brand, your products, your services to life. Don't just use those stock photos or product photos, but show these things in context. Show the benefits and the value proposition of what it is you're trying to convey or sell. And so just a couple of thoughts and quick tips on how to leverage the engagement rate in your email marketing program. Again, think about testing different approaches, imagery, content, different approaches to leveraging text and words, so that you can take that engagement rate up to the next level. So until next time, take it up a notch.